The House of Commons is resumed sitting. We sit down with Eric Melillo, the Member of Parliament for Kenora. It's James with NetNewsLedger. Joining us by Zoom from Kenora is Eric Melillo, the newly elected Member of Parliament for Kenora. Welcome, Eric.
It's great to be back, James. Thank you.
It's been a bit of time since we last talked. It was before the election. We wanted to let the House get going, start to settle into its routine. What's it been like coming back since the election to the House of Commons?
Well, it's been great to get back and get back in person in the House of Commons. We're still operating with the hybrid model that we had prior to the election, but the vast majority of members on all sides of the House so far are choosing to be in person, and I think that's just really great for our House, for our institution to have members being able to have the conversations on the side in the lobby, have face-to-face interactions, and build stronger relationships, not just within their parties, but across the aisle as well. So I've really enjoyed it, and it's always an honor to be there, of course, representing our region.
Now, we've had some issues coming up. Before we go on air here, we were talking a little bit about COVID. The numbers in the Northwestern Health Unit are far lower than they are in the Thunder Bay District Health Unit. But about a week or so ago, the health unit said they were not recommending travel to Minnesota and Wisconsin because the numbers were so high. Are you getting a feeling that people are either totally accepting everything, or do you think people are sort of like, when's this going to be over?
Well, I think everyone is sort of wondering when it's going to be over. Of course, everyone wants things to get back to normal, but at the same time, I think everyone knows, how important it is that that we get there and get there safely. Obviously, we're looking at end of March, I believe, as the rough timeline from the provincial government when they plan to remove most of the COVID restrictions. And it's important that we do our part to ensure that we get there. And obviously with the new variant, there are some concerns. And I just encourage everyone to keep doing what they've been doing. From what I see, what people I've interacted with, everyone's doing their part to keep their distance, to stay safe, and ensure that when they are traveling, they're being as safe as possible.
That's probably good advice, and I'm seeing that. I'm thinking over the past year, I haven't had a cold. You're wearing a mask when you're in public. You're washing your hands to the point where you're going, is that skin left, or have I just got my bones on my fingers? But it's taking those steps and reinforcing them that I think is going to get us through this hopefully final stretch.
Absolutely, and I think most people are in that same mindset, right? And I understand the frustration with it. I share the frustration with it. Nobody wants to be wearing masks and keeping distance. Nobody wants to have any kind of travel restriction or any barriers to that. But I think at the same time we understand that our health has to come first.
In the House of Commons, you've been talking a little bit about the softwood lumber and the duties from the United States. What do our readers and viewers need to know?
Yeah, it's a very important issue for Northern Ontario, really right across the country. Forestry is a greatly important sector, and the jobs that it provides are good, well-paying, often union jobs that we need to protect. And the ongoing softwood lumber dispute, of course, has impacted mills in the Kenora riding and jobs in the Kenora riding prior, and it continues to threaten more. And now with the doubling of the tariffs by the U.S. administration, it leaves us to wonder what's left of the relationship between Canada and the United States. And we've been pressing the government to rebuild that trust, to go down to Washington. I'm actually pleased that there is a delegation, I believe, currently in Washington as we speak, James, that is working on this and trying to come to a resolution, because we need them too. The workers in the Kenora riding across Northern Ontario need the government to be successful on this, and all of Canada needs the government to be successful on this.
Now, I want to touch on an area that's the province has finally announced that starting in 2022, we're going to be twinning the I'm going to call it the Trans-Canada Highway from the Manitoba border into Kenora. And what we've been seeing over even the last few weeks is the number of highway closures that really impact, I guess, all of Canada, because literally through our region, from Thunder Bay to Kenora, from Sault Ste. Marie to Kenora, really, the highway is our vital link across Canada for transportation. And sometimes it seems to me that maybe the federal government needs to be stepping into a bigger role here. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more. Obviously, from the safety point of view, we want to see this project move along. But from the economic side, as you noted, I mean, if there's a closure on the Trans-Canada Highway through my riding, you can't get across the country. It's just by road. It's just not possible. So I think it's that economic aspect of it is very important as well. I mean, we saw it on Remembrance Day with the big dump of snow we got. The highway was closed for I think 24 hours, maybe even a bit more. So I'm glad to see that the province is moving forward on this with support from the municipal and First Nation partners in the area. But the federal government needs to play a bigger role and ensure that this project can continue, not just to Kenora, but beyond. So that's going to be a big part of my advocacy going forward, is ensuring that the federal dollars and federal support is there. But it's definitely a great news, a great celebration, if I could say it that way, that the province is moving ahead regardless of the federal support right now.
The importance of infrastructure has probably never been more emphasized to us, perhaps, than what's happened in British Columbia with the Coquihalla Highway, the Trans-Canada Highway, the rail lines, and even the pipelines that they were building. That whole area has gone bang. And, I know they're getting it reopened, but it's going to be a long time before it's what it was.
Absolutely. There's actually quite a few members of our caucus that represent the affected areas in BC. So I've had a chance to chat with a number of them about what's going on the ground there. One member in particular actually hasn't been able to get to Ottawa because it's just not physically possible. So just seeing how quickly extreme weather events can create issues. I think to your point, it just shows the importance of this, maintaining this infrastructure, of ensuring that we have the right supports in place, really.
Is there anything that you'd like to leave as a message this week to constituents in Kenora?
I'll maybe just say again that it's an honor to be back representing our region in Ottawa. We have a couple more weeks left before we rise for the Christmas break. So we're going to continue to work on issues like softwood lumber, like the rising cost of living and inflation, and we're going to make sure that we're working with this government to deliver results for the Kenora riding and for Northwestern Ontario. But we're also going to be holding them accountable every step of the way. So I'm looking forward to that.
And I'm looking forward to our next talk, probably next week, Eric. And thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks, James.
To keep up to date, you have to subscribe. You have to hit that like button and hit the notification to stay in touch.